Alright, so welcome to another overdue episode of PowerCruiseTV. Today we're doing something a little bit different. It's called the PowerCruise, aptly so. As always, you got Mike.
Ken here.
And Ben way in the back seat of this giant crew cab.
So, today, being the first of the month, doing our new article, we're going to talk about car news, just basically things, interesting thoughts, interesting ideas. The first thing, I got to get out of the way, I got to break the ice, the 2014 jacked up Dart wagon. Liberty replacement. Refuse to call it a Cherokee. Refuse to. Okay?
Dim headlights.
Dad's got an XJ, and he's got an XJ and a Dakota. I got Fords. Don't get along. I see this thing, I'm insulted. I'm insulted by it. It looks like a Juke had sex with a fucking Aztec. And then this was the shit that came off the condom. This wasn't the baby. Okay? It's disgusting. And there was a recent article with Mr. Ralph Gio saying that it's a very contemporary design. That's great. Toss a Dodge grill on the front of it and okay, it's just like the new Escape versus the Focus. It's not a Jeep. I'm putting on my money right now, we're gonna have it on video, that the Patriot and Compass replacement is gonna be a Fiat Panda with a 7-slide grill on it. They're gonna get real terrible. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh man.
Thoughts?
I can sort of see why they did it. I don't really accept the fact they did it, but I can see why they did it. It's just another one of those situations where they're just playing to the city crowd, as opposed to the backwater places like Whitehorse and basically everywhere that there's under 100,000 people more or less. So
Who wants a real Jeep?
yeah, exactly. They want a real 4x4 and not a terrible crossover.
Yeah, the reality is 98% of them will never drive off of pavement other than maybe onto like a gravel driveway.
Yeah.
But they should have just called it the Compass or something, not the Cherokee.
Yeah. What else is making news here these days? Oh yeah, you were gonna talk a little bit about the FR GT VR drop top.
Yeah, basically they chopped the roof off and changed up some of the interior. It looks not bad.
Now, does it look better than when Nissan chopped the roof off the 350 and gave it a bubble ass?
I haven't seen the top up yet, so holding out judgment to see what it looks like with the top up and with how much weight they add.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a power soft top, so it shouldn't be too heavy at the top itself.
Yeah.
It's just the extra structures they've had to put in.
Yeah. There, of course, there's also the new C7 Corvette. Pretty hard to gloss over that.
Taillights are terrible, and it looks like a 5th gen Camaro R35 Ferrari LFA Viper thing.
It looks like everything that's not a Corvette.
Basically, there's too much Camaro and too little history in that design. It ain't right.
There was a spy shot out today of convertible version.
Oh yeah?
Kind of half covered up, like the business, and the top half was covered up by a car cover.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of get a little bit of lines. It looks like it might actually look alright.
Well, that is one thing. The Corvette did always look nice as a convertible. The C6 was good. The C5 was good. The C4 looked okay, and the C4 was a Lego.
This fact cannot be glossed over.
Yeah, the C4 was not a pretty car.
No. But we'll see what happens. I don't care for it. But I do like what Dodge has done with the new Viper. Kind of talking, a nice, beautiful segue there. I like the new Viper. It's an overhauled extense of the old chassis. Still got the big old V10 thumping under the front.
It still mostly looks like a Viper.
Yeah. Like when it came out, I didn't do the what the hell that I did with the Corvette. Anybody got any other things right on the tip of their tongue?
The new concept truck that Ford released, The Ford Atlas.
Yeah, yes, the 2015 F-150.
I love it.
Well, from what I hear, like right now, the truck we're driving in right now, she's an F-150 5-liter. Basically, all they used right now is an aluminum hood, which is light, crazy light. You pick one up and move it around, no problem by yourself. There's been lots of talks about the new F-150 using aluminum doors, aluminum hood, aluminum fenders, aluminum tailgate even. And we're talking a weight savings estimated of around 700 pounds.
And it won't rust.
That's also true. Protect the longevity a little bit. I mean, Land Rover did it with the new Range Rover. It's 1,000 pounds lighter than the old one. 1,000 pounds. That's like driving along towing a little trailer with a quad on the back, just going plunk, bye bye, and just dumping it on the side of the road. It's crazy. That was one thing. Another vehicle I was a little bit kind of questionable about was the design of the taillights and the headlights in the new Range Rover. I saw way too much of the new Explorer in them. The way they dragged across the fenders. They're starting to grow on me the more I look at it in different colors, different lights. You know, you see the press shots, there's always some silver or white one with giant rims, and it's like, wasn't doing it for me, but it could be one that grows on me a little bit.
More Ford news. No 1-liter EcoBoost Fiesta pricing yet, which I'm very disappointed about.
That can go along with my no Fiesta ST pricing yet. Congratulations, guys.
Ford, tell us how much money you want to take from us.
Yeah, seriously. And don't make it crazy expensive, like the friggin' Focus ST. I'm all stoked. I'm reading up about it. It's got lots of power. People saying it drives nicer than a GTI. The benchmark of hot hatches. They're like, yeah, by the way, it's $33,000. Not so much. I was like, no.
If that all-wheel drive, that'd be pretty ballin'.
Yeah, I paid half of that for a very nice little Jetta. And the Focus ST is nice, but it's not the same as having 2 of those. Just saying. Just saying. What else is new? Let's just go through here. Nissan, constantly updating the GTR. Nothing special this year, I don't think. More power.
This guy in front of us can't change lanes properly.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Honda, they did their emergency refresh of the 2013 Civic, which...
Does it make VTEC kick in?
Of course it makes... Shut up! When the new gen came out, it was kind of lauded by critics as having a bit of a Fisher-Price interior compared to the old one, which is still an ergonomic mess, but that's beside the point. It was cheap in this one. And it didn't drive quite as nice. So apparently they've done all the suspension bushings. It's got a really nice interior. They tossed some new taillights on it. It almost seems like they took their mid-cycle refresh and threw it forward, which... Now, are they going to let the design stagnate and let it carry through the end of its life, or are we going to see a brand new mid-cycle refresh?
I'm not a huge fan of the current gen Civic design, but...
That kind of wedge jet fighter type thing?
I haven't really been a fan of any of them since about 2000. So.
Yeah. You can't deny they are a good bang for the buck performance-wise.
Oh, definitely.
Like the SI's always been kind of the benchmark in affordable fun.
And the K-Series is a wicked piece of engineering.
Yeah.
That engine is awesome.
And that's one thing that's a bit of you go, the internets will tell you, Honda shifters are quite nice, but so are VW shifters. And I'll tell you, my Mark IV, the shifter in that thing, it feels slick as slick can be, man. It's like you're just cutting a knife through butter. And that's one thing Honda's always been known for. Like the new Accord V6 with the stick, apparently is a hoot. It's faster than a Focus ST. It's crazy, it's an Accord.
Is it in the same price range as well?
Yeah, that's also true. It's also a mid-sized car that's nigh on full-size, so...
Well, the V6 Accord's always been a bit of a sleeper.
Yeah.
Just like the V6 Camry and the V6 RAV4 Sport.
Those things are quick!
Take one of those, you dust an older Mustang GT, no problem.
Crazy. Speaking of Mustang GT, just a little while ago we did a performance X pipe on friend of the channel there, Mr. Ben's Mustang, and I gotta admit, that went flawlessly.
Yeah,
flawlessly.
That was probably the smoothest thing we've ever accomplished.
And because there's going to be a few more projects on the board here, we just thought we might run through a bit of them. You know, the Mustang's going to be kind of a bits and pieces thing here because it's an 05. It's pretty modern, pretty new. But we ordered up an engine for the old 78. Mr. Ben can elaborate on that, of course.
Yeah, basically, I have this 78 one-ton Chevy crew cab with a 454 in it that's turned into quite the knocker. Bearings and such aren't very happy with me right now, so I'm just going to rip all that out, drop in a whole new long block, and make some noise.
Yep.
Then we've got Project Rally Scooter on the go.
Yes.
We're basically building a V6 Pontiac Acadian, also known as the T1000, also known as essentially a Chevette. It's getting a 2.8 liter V6 and a 5-speed out of a 1990 S10.
Yep.
Super low buck. It'll probably be pretty ghetto, but fun. It'll be loud.
Oh, it's going to be damn loud.
And then we'll have my Eagle on the go. 1994 Eagle Summit ES, the extra shitty edition.
You may have seen it in previous videos.
Yeah,
yes.
There's videos of it floating around on our channel somewhere. Basically, it's getting completely redone. Pretty much from the tires up.
Pretty much in the vein of the Kanjo cars, right?
Yeah. Huge fan of Japanese Kanjo style cars. Those are all Hondas, but I don't have a Honda, so I'm going an Eagle.
Yours is Honda-esque in design, I guess.
So it'll be lowered a little bit ratty, some window nets in it, really loud. Yeah, it should be fun, and we'll have updates on that once the 2 feet of snow melts off of it.
Yeah. Mr. Kenny here, we got a set of wheel well liners for this thing about nigh on 8 months ago. So we're probably doing another basic, you know, garage how-to for you guys, kind of like the Focus one we did. Just, you know, how to put on some wheel well liners, because they're nice. They protect the integrity of your pickup box. They clean up the look. Like, straight up. They should be coming from the factory. So we're going to have a few more how-tos, like when we're tearing apart the engine. We're going to probably do something about, you know, when buying a used engine, here's what to look for.
Here's what to listen for.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably do something a little bit entertaining, but a lot more of the how-to, because it's good knowledge, and we don't have many views, we'll admit, but the Focus one, it was like twice total of the rest of them. It was crazy.
Slightly depressing.
I don't know, that's why we're PowerCruiseTV. Our name isn't a genre, because we're here to provide entertainment for the sake of entertainment. That pretty much sums up what's going to be going on for the next little while, projects and such. Stay tuned, and Kenneth's going to do a burnout and drive his F-150 down to the rims.